Hey guys, welcome to a devlog and a tutorial to how to use Manim Sideview and also a swift overview to all the changes that it had gone through in version 0.1.0. Manim Sideview is a VS Code extension that you can install when using a Python Manim framework to integrate a video and image preview of your renders in real time. If you've used Manim before, you know that we can render the scenes through the command line and preview the videos and images using our default applications for viewing them. Manim Sideview integrates them right into VS Code. That's its primary feature, and it also has other features like M-Object Galleries, which is a code snippet gallery based on images. So you'll be able to see what objects exist and what the appropriate code for them are. How do we install it? So to install Manim Sideview, we'll first open up VS Code. And once we're in VS Code, we'll go to the extension tab here and search up Manim Sideview. And you'll quickly find that the extension should be the only result there. Maybe there'll be a few in the future, but once you see that Manim Sideview extension show up in the extension sidebar, you'll click on that and it should say install in your place here. Since I already have installed, it says uninstall here and it also says disable. It will be a little bit different for your end. Once you've installed Manim Sideview, how do we start using it? Well, to use Manim Sideview, let's open up a example Python source file that we can render a scene from. So if you've used Manim before, you know that the video renders exist in separate scenes. Here in the script we have two scenes, one called video example and the other scene called image example. Let's ignore image example for now and look into video example. In the video example, we have a square that's being flipped and rotated as it grows from the center. This is very classic Manim basic code. So to render this, you would usually type in something like manim.exe and then the source file name and the scene name traditionally. But after you've installed Manim Sideview, you'll have this icon pop up on your top right corner, a little green play button. And once you hover over it, it should say Manim runs a side view and the appropriate hotkey for that. To run this, we'll just press on that, and once we pressed on that, it will ask us which scene we want to render. Because this source file has two scenes, we'll just choose video example the scene that we want to render. After picking that scene name, Manim Sideview will show a little job icon indicating that there is rendering going on, and we may stop the render through pressing this icon. After a while, we'll see that voila, the render has finished, and as you can see, right after the render finishes, we have this video side view here with the web view titled Manim Sideview and the Manim icon. And in this side view, we can see our rendered video, the scene name, and if you want to look into further details, you can press on this drop down button and it should show you which video, what the path for this video is, and the source file that produced this video. I don't want to look at it right now, so I'll just keep it away. And if you want to pause it, you would click on it. To replay it, you will press on it again, just like any other video viewers. There are two buttons in the Manim Sideview. One is for changing scenes that we'll get into in a bit, and the other is picture in picture. The first way, and probably the most intuitive and easiest way, is to press on this render a new scene button from the side view and pick the other scene that we would like to switch to. Now, why is this necessary? This is necessary because if you click on the run button again, it will keep on rendering the video example over and over again, because Manim Sideview is attached to a single scene and it will recurrently render that over and over again, because usually most of the time we're working with single scenes and we move on to the next. So this is when you want to hop onto a different scene. We press on that and select the other scene, and after we select it, Manim Sideview will immediately start rendering, and will show us this running button. And once it is done, we can see the image here that we've rendered. So this is a PNG file that's been previewed here. Just like the video preview, we can see the output file path and the source file that made this image. And keep in mind, picture-in-picture does not work with images. Finally, how do we use configurations while using Manim Sideview? Well, traditionally you would have a file called manim.config in the current working directory and change the command line options from there. And guess what? That's the exact thing we'll have to do. Since version 0.1.0, we've dropped just-in-time configuration support on Manim Sideview. If you've used this before, you'll understand what that is. If you haven't, don't worry too much. Just keep in mind that all configurations from now on have to be done through the manim.cft file that the official Manim guidelines, the official Manim software guidelines, will detail. And that link should be somewhere here. If you go through this link, there should be a guidelines as to what options exist and how you can set them in the configuration file. Okay, now that we've made the manim.config file, just as usual, we will have to instantiate a CLI section, and within that section we will set a quality parameter or an argument, and we'll set it to low quality. After you've made the manim config file, that's all you need to do. You can immediately start rendering a new scene, a new scene or your old scene. Because we've rendered the image here, we'll have to change back to the video for the quality parameter to take effect. And as you can see here, the quality has gone down to low quality. And how do we know that? The video is saved now in 480p 15 fps subdirectory, and we can try out a few different qualities. Example quality, run this, and we'll have the example quality, and the example quality is at 480p 30 fps, so we can see that it's saved in the appropriate subdirectory. You can also change other parameters such as video directory, change it to Willy Wonka, and if we re-render this, we'll see that all the configurations are taken into effect. Here we can see that the output file is now fetched from the Willy Wonka directory and the video there, and we can see here that that's where the video is. Okay, so now that we know how to set configurations here, there are certain ways, or there are certain command line flags that you want to set that is not, or perhaps might not be available in the configuration file. How do you set them? Well, in Manim Sideview, the extension, we also support a way to set a command line argument through a preference called Manim Sideview command line arguments. Here we can set command line arguments such as cache, disable. Now that we know all of that, let's move on to Manim objects. To open the Manim object gallery, we will use the hotkey F11 and type in Manim Sideview. Oh, just Manim, and we will see there is an option called open M object gallery. Once you use the command, there will be a web view that displays right beside your code editor with all the basic Manim objects, as well as the camera styles, the plots, and the Manim emojis that exist within Manim or is registered into the Manim object gallery. To use these objects, you'll simply press on them and the code will be inserted right into your editor. You don't have to worry about indentation because the code insertion will take care of that, and you'll have all the code necessary to recreate this exact image. And now I went to the thank Colby here for this feature. He currently maintains this website called Manim Object Gallery with all these objects, with all the code that he's generated. You guys should definitely go show some support to the GitHub repository where Mem Object Gallery is, and there's also a GitHub Pages version of this, so keep that in mind. One important fact is that this also works in Jupyter notebooks. So IPYMB, let's say we have a Jupyter notebook and we have multiple cells. This also works in multiple cells. That concludes our overview and tutorial on how to use Manim Sideview, which is relatively easy, I would say, and it's quite straightforward. So before we go, I just want to mention that the last time we had an update with Manim Sideview, the official Manim community project was in version 0.11.0, and now it's at 0.16.1. So I just wanted to thank all the core Manim developers that have maintained it, that have consistently put out all these amazing updates and making it such a nice software to use. Anyways, it's been me. Happy coding.